we're ready or not, we are now live. So we are starting the show.
Let's go. Punch it.
Greetings, this is Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I have drifted into the underworld. The Star Wars underworld. I have a bad feeling about this.
Here we go. We must go to the lower levels. The underworld.
You've taken your first step into a larger world.
You're after something.
Ben.
Since I've started the underworld, I've met so many great friends.
Chris.
I grew up in the 1990s, and mall packaging is nostalgic for me.
Dominic.
What I love most about Star Wars is that it's fun and it's all round good times.
So, this is where the fun begins.
May the Force be with us.
This thing really moves!
I like this!
I can't believe you came all this way to see me.
What's up, Star Wars fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Star Wars Underworld Podcast. We are your source for the latest breaking Star Wars news and discussion each and every week. And this week on the show, we got breaking news, like literally an hour ago. A cinematic trailer for Star Wars Eclipse, whatever the heck that is, just dropped. So we're going to be reacting to that. We also got even more Book of Boba Fett teases that have been released, and another new trailer for Star Wars Hunters. All that and so much more in this episode of the Star Wars Underworld Podcast. My name is Chris, and joining me is my good friend, Mr. Dominic Jones.
Hello, Chris. Hello, Ben. Hello, everybody. Yeah, there's so much news this week, Chris, that I feel like you skipped the third most important story, or possibly the second most important story in your little intro there, because we've also got perhaps the lead actor of The Acolyte has been cast this week. There's so much going on.
That's not in the notes. It got taken out of the notes.
I told you to rewrite the opening for yourself, and you skipped the most important thing.
See, Hannah, I told you we weren't the only one who had
exactly.
note issues.
Exactly.
Someone deleted the Acolyte
what
from
happens
it.
when
And I
drop
read
a trailer 5 minutes before the
I
show.
I rewrote it.
chaos.
I didn't realize that it had been deleted. Who deleted it?
I don't know.
Wasn't me. I haven't touched him.
I didn't backspace that away.
You were told.
I did
Anyway,
rewrite
it
it.
doesn't
I added the
matter.
new thing to it. That was my job.
Who's on first?
I don't know.
Second.
Third base.
We're also talking about what the thumbnail and title is. It's obvious. Everybody knows it's the thumbnail and the title.
Yeah,
The Acolyte.
That's what makes it weird that it wasn't in the opening. Anyways, it's a little bit of a chaotic week, as you can see here on the Star Wars Underworld Podcast. So much so that we've added 2 extra voices to the chaos. So it's going to be lots of fun. But I have to say, in addition to all of the big news that we've got, I've also got something special for everybody this week. So I'm fulfilling a promise at the end of the show. I'm going to fulfill a promise that I made all the way back in April of this year. During one of our Patreon pre-shows, I told everybody that I had found something in my phone that I wanted to share with you all.
Oh, no.
Shush. And that if somebody reminded me this week, I would do it. And a couple of Patreon supporters came through, and I'll give a special shout out to Jesse Bennett.
This
for
is
being
what
first.
that reminder on my phone was.
There we go.
Oh.
There we go.
About 29 minutes ago.
So I will share it with you all at the end of the show. I don't know if it's going to be good. I don't know if it's going to be bad. But
scared.
it's gonna be something. So stay tuned. It's gonna be a great
I'm
show.
intrigued as hell.
Also joining us, it's the founder of the Star Wars Underworld, Ben Hart, the Star Wars guy.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm still alive somehow. It's been a week. It's been a day for me. And full disclosure, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be here.
Wait. That doesn't sound right. Then the way you said that.
I mean, technically speaking, considering the recent events, anything could happen. The giant TIE fighter could fall on me and kill me.
Just
it could happen.
come at you.
Oh dear.
But not that way, okay? But there is a lot of stuff going on. So I might be in and out. So that's why these guys down here are here to kind of fill in because you need two people to fill in for little old me. So,
I mean, fill in because
Yeah,
I can't be here forever.
We're doing a cameo. We're just doing a cameo.
Also, full disclosure, like Jordan just messaged me like 5 minutes ago. He was like, "Hey Ben," I'm like, "What, Jordan? What do you want?" And he's like,
"That's exactly what he said too."
Wait. So you're telling us that we're gonna go from 5 people to 2 people, and then
in less than half an hour. Yeah,
I'm telling you.
This is not
the underworld.
Die tonight.
No, literally, I messaged Ben. And I was like, "Oh wait, am I allowed to cuss?"
I forget how many minutes into the video you have to wait.
It's been long enough. It's been 5 minutes, almost 6. We're fine. I messaged Ben, and he was like, "Yes," and I knew that he knew what was about to come out of my mouth was some bullshit.
It was gonna happen.
As it often does. And so I was like, we just got done with our show. Can we come annoy the hell out of the audience for a second?
You just can't have enough. You can't have the spot before our show. You got to keep encroaching on our space too.
Exactly.
Creep it in.
And don't get me started on after the show or the pre-show. Don't get me started.
Oh.
So for anybody listening, for the people that still just listen to the show, those are the voices of Jordan and Hannah from Star Wars Culture, which then we can just get right to the plugs and say that check out Star Wars Culture on Wednesdays, except for this week, it was on Thursdays.
Yes.
So if you missed the episode on Wednesday, it's up now. Wonderful episode with our good friend Sal Prelis. From Rogue Rebels, that's his group name.
Yeah,
yes,
the Rogue Rebels.
It's been a while since we've had him on the show. We need to get him back on SWU as well. But
Poe Dameron,
yeah, check that out on the Star Wars Culture YouTube channel, and also check out the Rollout and check out Chatter Squadron as well on the Culture Slate Podcast Network. A couple other plugs. Let's get to real quick so we can get to the big reaction. Make sure that you punch that subscribe button and the like button. And leave a comment as well if you're watching later. That's right. We are on Patreon, patreon.com/theswu. I'm not sure what's going to take longer. Our T Public store dying or waiting for our commercial for the Patreon to come out. But it's coming.
It's not like anything else has gone on in people's lives in the last 2 weeks.
No, it's fine. So we got some more announcements about that to come, but you can get a sneak peek at everything over at patreon.com/theswu. You can email us swunderworld@gmail.com and make sure that you subscribe and review on any podcast apps that you are listening to. And I have to ask Ben this question just so I can put up this graphic. Ben, what's going on with IPC and your other various podcasts and other things you've been on recently in the future?
Nothing and nothing. To be quite honest. The other podcast is struggling to survive because I haven't given it any time. And IPC, actually, we're gonna be doing something a bit different. Actually, next week.
Nice.
Just keep an eye out. There might just be a need for only one camera next week. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, okay. I get the hint. That's awesome. So both you and Zach will be in Canada next week.
And
that sounds great.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yay!
Sounds fantastic. All right.
Is that everything?
That's everything.
All right.
Record time, 8 minutes.
Is that? Yeah. Okay. Let's get to the big news this week, which is, of course, the surprise announcement and reveal of Star Wars Eclipse. We're going to watch the trailer together, and we will react to it. And I'll be honest, I have not seen this thing, so this is going to be new for me as well. So let's see how it goes.
Let's do it.
What in the heck? Are we sure this isn't Dune, the Dune sequel?
Stop.
Naboo.
I swear that's
that
live
like a
action.
basket of Morai?
Great grandfather.
Now, is that's not no.
Get him. 3PO.
That's 3PO daddy.
Naked. He's nudie. He's naked.
He's staring at clips too.
Hart's the show.
This music is like.
What is this? Let me watch you.
Is that church out of right now?
Oh, it's Voldemort. Okay.
Where's the unicorn?
Don't say his name.
Oh, need a buff.
That's Venom.
Are you gonna play video games now, Dominic?
I might have to. That looks like the best
Wow.
Star Wars, like new Star Wars thing we've seen in ages. That was
Dominic,
wild.
you haven't played a video game?
I haven't played. No, I genuinely haven't played a video game in like 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
It's not my thing.
Wow.
That was incredible. I have no idea what any of that was.
No.
I
But
can't
I am here
process
for it.
anything.
That is
See,
awesome.
I thought you would explain it to me because I haven't read much of the High Republic. So I'm like, oh, Dominic's gonna explain to me what's going on.
Is this a High Republic thing?
This is a High
Yes.
Republic thing. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I genuinely I know nothing about this. I was at work an hour and 15 minutes ago, so I have no idea what any of this is. This is incredible. Ben, give us your reactions. Start explaining it to us.
I saw it just a little bit before you, so I don't know. It's so weird. It's so weird watching this because it feels like Star Wars. You have some Star Wars elements in there. You see the Luker Hulk, big giant space donuts, and there's like, okay, yeah, that's Star Wars. You see Naboo in there. You see some
Naboo.
Why are you pronouncing it like that?
Three-eyed porgs in there or something with long tails. Like that's wild. You see some Jedha guards in there. Like there's some really cool stuff. I have no idea what the hell is going on, what this game's gonna be, or how this will actually be like a part of the gameplay, because as we remember with the old Republic trailers, they were very much cinematic, but it wasn't necessarily based on the actual gameplay. Still, this is beautiful. This is gorgeous. It looks magnificent, and I'm just curious, like, what is this all going to be? I don't know how it interfaces with what we've seen in the High Republic so far, but again, yeah, I'm like you. I'm here for it. Give me more of this. This looks This is mind blowing.
Hannah, what's your reaction to this?
Yeah, same. Very just caught off guard. Didn't have this on the horizon at all, but it looks incredible. There's the High Republic era seems like a good move to make. We've had the books have done well, so it makes sense to make a game and have this story kind of expanded in a game. I'm loving the feel of it, the look of it. It looks very real in world. It looks very kind of dirty in the sense of kind of like it's not, you're not just going to be a Jedi. It's going to be the nitty gritty of different planets and civil wars, getting into some cool gameplay. It seems like we could be getting. It looks amazing. Yeah, it just looks so cool. I think they did really well. Like this is like the best Star Wars trailer I've seen in a while. Like
Yeah.
of like anything. Like the music,
Seriously.
the everything. Like, and I think it's done an amazing thing of like it actually gave us so much. We saw so much just then, but I still have no idea what's going on. Like I'm finished watching it going, hang on, I have like 700 questions now. What the hell?
Yeah, same.
But
Yeah.
in a good way.
It's the best kind of trailer. Yeah. So here's what StarWars.com says about it. With a heart-pounding drumbeat, Lucasfilm Games and Quantum Dream, the award-winning video game studio and publisher, unveiled Star Wars Eclipse with a world premiere cinematic trailer at the Game Awards 2021. As the first video game set in the High Republic, the multimedia initiative that launched with publishing earlier this year, Star Wars Eclipse will feature an original story and a unique new characters, each with their own paths, abilities, and roles to play in the tapestry of events that could alter the carefully balanced peace in an uncharted region of the Outer Rim. Star Wars Eclipse will be an intricately branching action-adventure game that can be experienced in a multiple of ways, putting the destiny of an array of playable characters in your hands. Your choices will be at the heart of the experience, as every decision can have dramatic impact on the course of the story. Through these decisions, players will forge their own legend in the golden age of the Jedi. Star Wars Eclipse is currently in the early stages of development at Quantic Dream Studios in Paris, France, and Montreal, Canada. There we go. So that's what's out there officially. Jordan, let's get your reaction to this. What'd you think of that trailer?
Yes. I'm just kidding. No, I was like very caught off guard because we were like in the middle of our show, and my phone was like buzzing and buzzing. It's like, I'm like, what is happening? And then Nick, our good friend Nick, was like, talk about it now. And I'm like, wait. So I like, full disclosure, Chris, don't fire me. But when I clicked on it and I watched it while we were live, and I was like trying to pay attention to this conversation we were having. So I was like 50 times confused. It looks amazing, even though I don't know anything about the High Republic other than Yoda's still technically there and he's like chilling. But other than that, I don't know much. And then I saw this trailer and I was like, I really don't care how little I know. This game looks amazing and I'm going to play it because it looks amazing. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's aesthetically pleasing is my only thought right now.
That's a good thought. Chris, what about you?
Well, so my question is, how is it that we went for about 10 years asking Lucasfilm to make an Old Republic movie because of those cinematic trailers, and now they're just setting us up for another 10 years of wanting them to make a High Republic movie.
Right?
Like, why do they keep creating these cinematics that are like, like movie quality, and then that's all we get? Like, I don't know about that.
I will say, I know I'm probably asking for too much, but I want, because that was the cinematic. I want the game to look like that. I want it to look like that.
Well, here's the thing. I think it will though, because it's like this is PS5 and it's like with Unreal Engine.
I don't have one
and all that stuff. Like, well, by the time this game comes out, I'm sure most people will. This is being early development. It's probably going to be like, I mean, for most games, I would say, oh, that'll take 2 years. For Star Wars, I'm like, okay, 5 years. Like, they're going to delay it a few times.
It's got to be nearly canceled at least twice for it to be a Star Wars project.
And then it's good, and then we're good to go.
And then it's going to come out, and we got to get a bunch of interviews with the people who made it going like, no, this was always the plan. This was always the plan. There was nothing ever went wrong during the production of this movie. I mean, game.
Well, my big question about this is I'm seeing some buzz in the chat that this might be an MMO. Is there anything official saying this is an MMO?
I have not seen anything, but granted, I've only read that one article as I was reading it out loud. It does say that the game can be experienced in multiple ways, putting the destiny of an array of playable characters in your hands, and your choices will be at the heart of the experience. So that to me sounds like it'll at the very least be like Knights of the Old Republic or the Old Republic, where you could pick what the characters said, or at the very least there will be points in the game where you can do the good thing, do the bad thing, and that will set you off on different trajectories.
Having the trailer like this kind of makes me feel like it might be an MMO, because usually, because of the way MMOs are set up, that the cinematics inside the game are not as extensive because there's more stuff to code out. So perhaps, whereas I think it's more likely like if you think about like Battlefront and Fallen Order and stuff like that, typically the trailers for that are gameplay footage trailers and not cinematic trailers.
Yeah, I think that the thing is, I think this is a ways away, and what we're seeing is just, it's essentially a teaser trailer. And everything that I'm looking at right now about the game, there's a real emphasis on narrative. There's an emphasis on story. So it suggests to me that there is going to be a lot of story in this game. And so the reason we're not seeing any of that teased right now is because it's, again, so far away. So they're just trying to give us a little bit of a taste of what the universe feels like at this time. And it's supposed to be, it's a little bit chaotic, but it's also not necessarily an all-out war. But there's a lot of suspicion, and there's a lot of moving parts that could become something explosive. It's very interesting that the Trade Federation feels very sort of focused upon in this thing, and that's something that that we know eventually comes to pass in a big way in the Phantom Menace.
I want to know Lot Dodd's ancestry. Come on, more Lot Dodd.
Senator Lot
content
of the Separatist Alliance. God, like just
love him. Give him more love, appreciation.
You find out that Lot Dodd is just Lot Dodd the Sixth.
It's funny,
right?
Exactly. Hannah's always like, I love these obscure characters, and I'm like,
I love him.
I find their existence extremely annoying. Like, for example, Queen Julia. I don't mean to change the subject too much, but Hannah has this like weird obsession with Queen Julia. Not here for it.
Queenie best Star Wars relationship.
Nope, absolutely not.
It's probably the healthiest one in all of Star Wars.
I can't take that away from her.
There's Matt starting a false rumor about it being MMO, and then
in the chat. Yeah.
Wow, Matt. Wow.
Okay, not an MMO, people. You don't need to freak out.
The Trade Federation ships, that's like really caught my eye in the trailer.
Yeah, me too.
Because I really hope there's that storyline of not really politics, but just that kind of political unrest about something and the jostling of two power parties and trying to figure out, where they sit in the galaxy. Like, I love that storyline. I'm just currently going through the High Republic books and loving it because it's very much that unrest, unsettled, who's in charge, who's, heading in this, who's in power. So I hope it could be along those storylines of like, this power battle.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that, we were wondering like, okay, why is the High Republic set seemingly, it's still far away, but seemingly so close to the prequel trilogy, a few years, give or take.
I was reading something that was like, I think like the end of the High Republic era was like 50 years before Phantom Menace or something
but
that.
This gives them, being in close proximity, gives them the opportunity to use different elements like the Lucre Hulks and all this kind of stuff, and the Modians and, all this crazy stuff from the prequels in an era that we're not really familiar with, but same time we're familiar with the iconography. It's interesting.
Yeah, and just to pick up on something Hannah was saying, the one of the real strengths I think of the High Republic books has been the way they've sort of been teasing out the political situation in the galaxy right now. And the story begins at a place of peace and calm, and you're starting to, as the books go on, you're starting to feel the chaos be brought in slowly, and then you look at something like that's going on in these trailers, and you just feel like, oh, we're about to explode into chaos in a second at some point in this story, and yeah, it's great for tie-ins, I think. One other thing I'll mention real quick about this is in the StarWars.com article, I think it's very interesting that the High Republic is referred to as a multimedia initiative, because for a while it was called just a publishing initiative. For about a year and a bit now, it's just been a publishing initiative, but it's multimedia, and obviously a game and books, that's multimedia there, but. Maybe there's a little bit more coming up down the horizon. We'll see. Hannah and Jordan, I know you guys have got to go.
Yes,
we appreciate you guys.
Our Stan Lee level cameo.
Yes, we just had to fly in, get our opinions in there, and then fly out just as quick.
Perfect. Well, you did it perfectly. So thank you both for thank you both for being here, and
everybody subscribe to Star Wars culture.
Yeah,
please,
do that.
Please,
doing good fun. We're doing good puns over there. Good memes.
I don't like to beg, but please.
It's good times.
All right. Thank you too. May the force be with you.
And with you.
All right. Oh, that's an interesting look on the
debate show. It's like,
yeah. I don't know. I mean, I really feel that the Trade Federation gets a bad rap in the Star Wars universe, and it's all this. Anyways, okay, that was great. That was a lot. That was what a great way to start the show with
exactly.
with some friends dropping by and a new Star Wars trailer. It doesn't get much better than that. All right, let's get into some of the other news that's going on. We'll put Eclipse aside because we're still sort of dealing with the fact that it exists and it's something that we will have to live with. And we won't that we'll have to be keeping an eye on for the next little while.
And I will say there's some real world stuff in there that I've seen chatter about that I want to investigate myself, and I think we'll talk about maybe in future episodes of the podcast.
For sure. All right, so let's get to what else is going on this week. We got a pretty surprising, exciting, and very sort of shocking. And not in the sense that I was shocked by the news, but just shocked that it is starting to happen, which is casting for the Acolyte. It's happening. It's out there, and it looks like the series has found its lead in Amanda Stenberg. Excuse me. This was first reported by the Illuminati, who then had their source backed up by Variety and Deadline. So we're going to read from the Variety article. Amanda Stenberg is in talks to join the upcoming Disney Plus series, The Acolyte, the live-action Star Wars series that hails from Leslie Headland. I'm sorry, I can't speak tonight. There's too much going on. I'm too excited by this trailer. All right, continuing along. Details on the character that Stenberg would be playing are being kept under tight wraps, but an Acolyte in the Star Wars universe is typically referred to as Sith who has just begun their training under an experienced Sith Lord. This, of course, was prior to Sith Lord Darth Bane instituting the Rule of Two, under which there are only ever two Sith in existence at a time, one master and one apprentice. Reps for Stenberg and Lucasfilm did not immediately respond to Variety's request for comment. I always wonder about that sentence. They didn't immediately respond. Like, did you send the email and then just go, oh, well, nobody's responded yet, so therefore they don't have any comment?
5 minutes, okay, that's enough.
Do you wait like an hour and just see what they have to say for themselves? But if you're wondering if you've heard that name, Amanda Stenberg, before, and you're wondering where, they're best known for their roles in The Hunger Games, where they played Rue, The Hate You Give, Dear Evan Hansen, things like that. What else? Those look like the main ones.
Yeah.
So let's get some reaction. Chris, over to you first. What do you think of this casting?
I have not seen The Hate You Give yet, which it was one thing that was on my list a few years ago when it came out, and I just never got to it, unfortunately. So now I have a revived interest in going back and watching that, because I remember that getting a lot of really positive reviews when that came out. So that's exciting that we have yet another person potentially joining Star Wars who is immensely talented and experienced. Yeah, I mean, just knowing what we know about Leslie Headland and the Acolyte so far, Amanda Stenberg seems like the perfect person to head the show. So this makes sense.
Yeah, and this is somebody who has experience in big franchises before. They began their career with the Hunger Games. Right? Like that's those films were huge when they were coming out, especially that first one. So they've experienced the pressure and the whirlwind of being involved in a huge franchise like this before. And so so that was when they were younger. Now Amanda's an adult and ready to lead a series of their own, and can learn from that time spent on Hunger Games, apply it to Star Wars. I've only seen Hunger Games for their from their IMDb here that we were looking at. But like you, Chris, The Hate U Give has been on my list of something to watch for a while. So I don't know. Maybe we should do like a viewing party and watch it. Great. Watch it sometime. I'm here for this casting. I like it a lot, and it's just another thing that's making me excited for the Acolyte. Ben, what about you? What do you think of this casting?
Yeah, I'm coming at this as I have a lot of casting in the past. I've never heard of this person before, unfortunately. I've never seen The Hunger Games. So
wait, what? That's actually kind of surprising.
You didn't see The Hunger Games?
No.
Considering that you do a podcast. Considering that your podcast is all about watching popular movies that you should have seen that you haven't.
It just haven't got there yet.
We need to find IPC a Hunger Games expert to come on and then you guys will.
That would be awesome. So yeah, I mean seriously, I've wanted to see him for years. I need an excuse. Maybe this is a good excuse.
Yeah.
But so I've never heard of this person, but like it's great to see them doing this, and I think having I don't know, it's very, very exciting to see obviously more diversity in front of the camera in a lead role. I think it's very, very exciting. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they do, obviously. And just learning more about the Acolyte. For finally getting something. We got the title. That's basically it.
Well, the Acolyte has been one that felt
getting some casting and more real, especially in an.
I was just saying, I think one of us dropped out there. I was just saying, the Acolyte is one of those things that has felt like it was so far away for so long that now, it's sort of surprising. Like, oh, right, that's shooting next year. Of course, they'd be casting, but it still kind of caught me off guard because it felt so far away that I wasn't even thinking about it because it was, just not on my radar until it wouldn't be until something like this happened and we got our first bit of casting. But yeah, exciting stuff like the Acolyte, which by the way also set in the High Republic era. So
yeah, that's right.
we got those books, now we got the game, and we got the show to look forward to.
Multimedia.
I mean there's three. There's three of the four big ones. Three of the big
Where's
four.
The movie?
We're just missing one of them. We're missing something. So maybe that's out there. Maybe that's out there to be picked up upon. I
think everyone's kind of scared to make a Star Wars movie right now.
Yeah. Well, there was a bit of news this week that was kind of interesting that I don't think got into the show notes this week, but I'm gonna start talking about it anyways because it's relevant to what we're talking about there, which is we're wondering about the future of Star Wars movies. And the last thing we heard about the future of Star Wars movies is that Rogue Squadron had been taken off the production schedule. And it was due in part to Patty Jenkins's schedule being too clogged up to give it the time that it was due. That was the officially reported story. There were then more rumblings about, perhaps there were some creative differences or they just couldn't quite crack the script, all that stuff. But this week, Patty Jenkins's schedule just got a little bit lighter. And it has nothing to do with Star Wars. One of the projects that she was working on that was causing the kind of the clog in her schedule was the Cleopatra movie that was going to star Gal Gadot. And she announced this week that she is stepping down from directing that movie, Patty Jenkins, and she's going to continue to produce it. And Carrie Skoglund, who directed Falcon and the Winter Soldier, is going to take over directing Cleopatra. Jenkins is now, her focus seems to be on Wonder Woman 3 and Star Wars. So it seems like Rogue Squadron may not be as dead as we thought it was. I'm not convinced it's coming out next year or 2023. I'm not convinced it's coming out 2023, but I'm also not convinced there's another Avatar movie ever coming out So,
oh my god,
20.
No,
20
that's gonna happen.
December 202024 may open up. That's all I'm saying.
Ooh.
That's all I'm saying.
They've had a good 10 years to work on that.
Yeah, they've had 10 years to work.
Well, that's
on
how
it.
long the first one took, so it's not surprising.
I'm just saying, if that December release date, I think is hugely coveted by Disney these days, and I think it's no surprise that next week we got Spider-Man in that slot, and that like I'm looking at the promotion for that movie going, this feels like Force Awakens level hype. This feels like they're putting all their money, all their energy into that.
This is another example of those dumb rumors about creative differences being not true.
Look, I'm not convinced that there's nothing there with the creative differences.
I mean, she stepped away from a movie.
Yeah,
to focus more on it.
Did she step away more to focus more on Star Wars or on Wonder Woman? That's my question.
I'm just reading the title. The title says to focus on Rogue Squadron. If that wasn't the rumor, then my bad.
So it says that she could focus on it, according to Deadline, who broke the story. So Scoglin steps in for Patty Jenkins, who was attached to direct and is pivoting to a producing role. Jenkins fell off as director so she could focus on her next two projects, Wonder Woman 3 and Star Wars Rogue Squadron.
There you go.
So yes, but they're both supposed to come out like really close together. Like they were like within a year. Like I'm not convinced that there isn't more at play with Rogue Squadron than just she was getting too busy, so they took it off the schedule. I think maybe she was getting too busy and therefore didn't have time to work through the creative differences that they were working on, that they were having. I think there's I'm not convinced there's no smoke and no fire there, but we'll see. We'll see where this winds up. I'm happy that seemingly her schedule is cleared up so that if she wants to, and if everybody's on board, they can go back to working on Star Wars.
I think too, like if you're gonna bring up creative differences, it kind of only makes sense to bring that up in the context of, okay, this is like a death now. It's gonna kill the project. Like, what's the point of creative differences if it doesn't affect the project? Because like that's just a conversation, like, oh, maybe we should do this instead. Is that really creative differences? Creative differences has a much more negative connotation than oh, we're having a discussion about this, or oh, we need more time to work through this. Creative differences usually is something being cited as a reason for something not happening or splitting up.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is maybe there's stuff that they're working through. They're trying to work through.
That's fine.
Yeah, which is fine. That happens on literally every movie. Yeah, but I'm wondering if part of what led to Patty Jenkins feeling she couldn't do all three projects, she had to pick something to step away from, was that some of those creative discussions were starting to hit a bit of a wall. That they were starting to, it was starting to seem like we gotta get on board here. We're not going to find find the answer with this team in place. But I hope to be wrong. I hope to be wrong.
I think this latest story is a good indication of that.
I will say if the next time we hear from Patty Jenkins, if she says, yep, Rogue Squadron is still on deck, then yes. If she says my next movie is Wonder Woman, there's more going on here.
Interesting.
All right, let's keep going. We'll move off of the Acolyte and Rogue Squadron, which was that all started with the Acolyte somehow. And let's talk about the next thing. We're talking about things that are so far away, like Eclipse and Acolyte and Rogue Squadron, that we forget that we have a new show that literally debuts in less than 3 weeks. It's just around the corner. And that is, of course, the Book of Boba Fett. And this week they dropped a new, not really trailer, but it's some kind of new teaser extended TV spot for the Book of Boba Fett. So let's take a watch of that.
dead on the sands of Tatooine. I am Boba Fett.
Ooh, I like that one a lot. I like that trailer a lot. That was a good one. Let's get some reaction to it. Ben, over to you first.
Oh, this is so good. This is so good. This is, like you said, this is the best one so far. Yeah, there's so much going on, and so many things I want to talk about. Just an overview of, like, we got so much new footage. Obviously they're leaning heavily and pretty much confirming we're going to get a lot of flashbacks, not just a few in the show. We're going to get like a full-on explanation as to how Boba Fett survived the Sarlacc pit, which is great. I think that should have been a given anyway, but like, it's nice to have it confirmed. And just so many other things, like, and there's apparently some Tashi Station action happening.
Yeah.
That I saw.
How about that?
On Twitter. That is crazy. Like, they've matched up the fact that, like, Boba Fett, like, he's in his original jumpsuit from Return of the Jedi, apparently, and he walks in. It's like they've matched up the lighting and everything, and then Cammy and Tank are there, or Fixer, or whatever.
Fixer, yeah.
They're like, he's gonna rescue them. Like, what is happening?
That is the most Jon Favreau thing in this Jon Favreau show. Like, that dude loves his obscure references. Dude brought in the holiday special gun, and now he's going to bring in the characters from the deleted scenes from A New Hope.
And for the record, for those who don't know, like, I think you can check it out on our Twitter. And there is, like, you can kind of see where he's walking in, and he's in the jumpsuit, but there's a specific shot where you can stop it at a certain point, and there's like two Indians or something. There's two dudes like rustling up a couple, just a young couple of just normal people, and they look an awful lot like Fixer and Cammy from the deleted scene of A New Hope from the Anchorhead. And as soon as I saw, I'm like, I didn't catch that, for one, when I first watched it, and two, like, what, this is I've lost again a second time tonight, lost for words, just like what I'm actually watching.
It's amazing. if that is real, if we are seeing Anchorhead with Cammy and Fixer, I don't even like. Jon Favreau can just have the King of Star Wars crown. Like, how when you're thinking of doing a Star Wars show, are your polls Cammy and Fixer? How is that where your mind goes? That's, I mean, just hats off to Favreau and Filoni and Rodriguez and everybody else, if that is truly the case. That's wild. Chris, what did you think of this new teaser?
Guys, torturous. I want the next 3 weeks to just like fly by, because
really
like at this point I just want to see the
really
show, and I don't need to see anything to make me just remind me that it's not now and I have to wait 3 more weeks. No, I think the thing that really made this one is, like, I'm assuming that's Ludwig Göransson's score back there.
Probably
in this trailer. Like, I think that really made this one, is the music for this one was just so incredibly epic. Like, oh my gosh. So that really added to it. And then cutting the trailer around, I don't know if it's a situation where they had the score and then the person cut it around the beats of the score, or if he just like Ludwig scored it to have the beats go with the cuts. I don't know. But somehow the two things work together extremely well in this one. And that's great for like a 1 minute clip. You don't usually see short clips like that done that well with the audio. So that's really what stood out to me, as just how epic it looked. And I can't wait to actually see it. I think this, I don't know. I can't tell what the hype level is for this show. Like, is it something where it's gonna catch some people by surprise because it's not The Mandalorian, and then all of a sudden people are gonna freak out over how great it is, or is it like really being seen as the spiritual half sequel to The Mandalorian and prequel to whatever we get next, and thus it's gonna have that same audience? Like, I'm really curious to see what the hype level is gonna be like when this drops.
What would you say were the most hyped or least hyped Marvel shows?
I always felt like Loki was the most hyped Marvel show. Like, that's the one that I think everybody was talking about before, and I think that was supposed to come out a little sooner originally too. I'm not sure, but
I'm not sure either.
That's the one that, like, I think was in the first slate of ones that got announced. way back many years ago. And so, yeah, Loki's kind of like that most. I think so. And then I think WandaVision is the dark horse one. WandaVision is the one that people, I think, didn't know what they were going to get for. But then once they started watching it, it kind of became a thing.
So on the scale of WandaVision to Loki, where would you drop this? Because I'm kind of thinking...
Falcon.
I was going to... I mean, that works for Star Wars, so good, well played. I was thinking it's like Hawkeye. Like...
Yeah,
it's gonna have its fans. There's the people that are big Boba Fett fans that have been waiting for this, and it's gonna have the people that like Star Wars and are just gonna check out anything that's Star Wars. So the same way that there are the Marvel fans who are just gonna check out everything that's Marvel.
Yeah.
My question is, I feel like Hawkeye has managed to capture people's attention, in part through its own charms, and in part through, again, the kind of the rumblings and the whispers about, who might show up and when.
Cameos were in full force, especially this
cameos in full force. By the way, if Vincent D'Onofrio does show up in that show, I want him to be playing Ralph Boner's dad. And I said that.
I hate you. I hate you. For even putting that out there.
I said that exclusively to bother Ben. So, but I suspect that's where this show is going to kind of fall, where it's maybe not going to be the most anticipated thing of all time. I was going to say of its week. It'll probably be the most anticipated thing of its week. But I suspect it will grow on people and it will surprise people, because I do expect there to be some interesting, exciting cameos that will come into play, starting with Din Djarin and working their way up to, I don't know, Han Solo? Maybe?
Oh, well.
I'll just throw that one out there. I've been saying for months I want that one to happen, so I'll just throw that one out now. And I want it to be Alden. I'll throw that out there again.
I don't expect this.
I don't expect it either, but I'm just
expecting unexpected.
I'm just putting out what I want. That's all.
They're gonna have the new guy, the new deep faker guy, and he's gonna deep fake Harrison Ford, just like they deep faked Mark Hamill before, and they're gonna do a better job because it's gonna be the guy now.
I know all that. I want Alden.
But
I want.
How do you explain that Han Solo went from looking like Alden to looking like Harrison to looking like Alden again?
To quote Harrison Ford, "It's fake and in space." It's fake. It's not real.
Legends aren't real.
Yeah, Star Wars.
Okay.
Star Wars is a legend. It didn't. I hate to break it to you. It didn't happen.
There's two types of canon. There's the real canon and the fake canon.
It's not just a movie.
And there could be a Star Wars Legends movie where Alden Ehrenreich plays Han Solo after Return of the Jedi. But it has to be Legends.
How do you explain that Obi-Wan Kenobi goes from looking like Ewan McGregor to looking like a guy with a chin that's shaped like a V to looking like Ewan McGregor again?
Wait, that's a chin that's shaped like a V. Are you talking about like the animated stuff?
Yeah. If we're willing to go from live action to animation to live action, we should be able to go from Harrison to Alden to Harrison to Alden.
But the animation, somebody's just drawing what happened.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
They weren't there with the camera.
They don't look the same. Christopher Lee's head's not a cylinder.
I know. So that's someone's artistic interpretation of what it actually looks like.
Exactly. And Alden giving a performance in the Book of Boba Fett would be somebody's artistic interpretation of what Harrison of what Han Solo would be.
On this show, I think you're both being dumb.
there would be a big white letters that would say this is a dramatization if that's the case.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
It's old footage. It's old.
To quote Harrison Ford,
for
it's
people
fake
asking
and
in,
in space.
45 seconds
in
the clip. 45 seconds is where you see Fixer and cameo. Or
yes.
Fixer and cameo.
Yes, it's true. It's true. Thank you for getting us back on track, Ben. Bring back Alden. Trailer looks great. Everything from the opening shots with the Tuskens walking through the sand, Boba sneaking up on Jabba's palace in his old look. It's all great. But one sort of small moment in it is there's a shot of a speeder going down the street on Tatooine, and the pit droid crunches up and it still manages to get hit by the speeder a little bit. It gets clipped. That warms my special edition loving heart because that is like right out of the special editions. That's right out of those scenes that George added to Mos Eisley. That all the old fans, all the original trilogy purists, let's say, hate those scenes, and they're like, why would you want Mos Eisley to be funny? Why would it should be scary and a wretched hive of scum and villainy? Why should it be funny? And same in the same way that Jon Favreau's like, screw it, I'll bring back Cammy and Fixer and the gun from the holiday special. He's also like, yeah, well, this is what the scenes are like on Tatooine in the movies, so let's pick up on that on our show as well. Again, Favreau, Filoni, Rodriguez, I'll give them all credit, and whoever directed that episode.
We need to come up with a portmanteau so we don't have to keep saying their three full names.
Yeah, because we've got Favloni for Mando.
Yeah.
So
Favloni guess.
Favloni Rod. No, wait, no, that doesn't sound good.
No.
All right. Trailer is great. I cannot wait. 3 weeks is too long. It's too long.
Yeah.
There's also some new interviews that are out with the cast. Ming-Na Wen was interviewed by the D23 magazine, which was then quoted by the Direct, and both Ming-Na and Tamora Morrison were interviewed by Total Film. They don't have a ton to say. It's kind of interesting, this is sort of what they say about this is what Ming-Na Wen says about the relationship between Boba and Fennec. She says it's a very dysfunctional family, but it's a family that honors a code of ethics, and there's a certain set of rules that you have to follow, and that's the only way that it would work. And being bounty hunters, that's very important. I think that's why Fennec and Boba, they're the old school. They believe in those code of ethics, and we respect each other for it. It's interesting. That's kind of been the tone of all the trailers, with the, we're gonna do things differently. Jabba ruled with fear. I'm gonna rule with respect. I think that's something we can expect to see a lot in the first couple of episodes, but probably throughout the entire series.
And they're really setting that up with Fennec and the Bad Batch, that code of ethics thing, and her relationship with Omega kind of is a little bit more than you could imagine, say, someone like Cad Bane's relationship with Omega would be.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can literally compare how Omega is treated by Fennec versus how she's treated by Cad Bane on the Bad Batch, and it's Fennec, there is something sinister to Fennec's relationship with Omega. It's not completely pure, but there is more there. She does try and help Omega out, whereas Cad Bane just throws her in the brig and leaves her with Toto and says, you guys deal with it. Here's what Tem says about cameos. Speaking of cameos, when we were talking about earlier, he says, I can't say anything, but we have some wonderful, colorful things to look forward to. And I don't want to say too much about it because we're all going to go on this journey together. And every little bit of information is precious right now. He doesn't deny. So, yeah, I mean, there's obviously going to be cameos in this thing. It feels...
No.
Din Djarin feels like a sure thing, and then classic bounty hunters feel like a sure thing. So I think we can see more. Maybe there's a Crimson Dawn cameo out there that could be made.
Awesome.
Which would then, if you made that cameo, it would make more sense to bring in Alden, because we've actually seen that version of Han perform with that.
See, that's fine. You can flashback it. Fine. That's not a problem.
Into the present, quote unquote.
That's why you can have Hayden and Kenobi and not Prowse or Shaw, because I'm still on that side of things sometimes.
I feel like if we go back down that road, Ben's gonna somehow reach through the screen and slap us both.
Force Ghost is fine because it's his old self before he turned to the dark side. But when you see Vader in that era, it's not Hayden.
Now I'm dreading this. I'm legitimately dreading this because I know it's going to happen because we all thought we had Luke Skywalker. We thought, oh, no. Luke Skywalker's not going to show up. No, they put Luke Skywalker in there. So they're going to do it. They're going to do it, okay? We're going to get Han Solo. And there's going to be a civil war on this podcast. And I have to put up with this crap, okay? I have to put up with these two. They're going to kill each other on this stupid podcast because of Han Solo.
Let me take this argument to its dumbest extent.
Oh no.
For the sake of making a point.
Okay.
If you're saying that Force Ghosts are fine, could Alden Ehrenreich have done a scene with Adam Driver in The Rise of Skywalker?
Yes. Yes, because you know what happens when you go to the Force Ghost?
So Adam could have turned around on that Death Star pier and seen Alden Ehrenreich standing there going,
yes,
hey son.
Well, yes, because
just been amazing.
When you go to the Star Wars heaven or hell or wherever the Force Ghosts come from, it's all from a certain point of view. They get to pick their avatar, right? That's the first thing. They got a screen in front of them and they're like, what do I want to look like? Me when I was 10, 20, 30, 40. And of course, Han's like, I want to look like I did when I was 20. Like I want to look like when I got that Kira action. That's what I want to look like.
Could let's say Hayden becomes unavailable to be in the Ahsoka show for some reason. Let's say he becomes unavailable.
Yeah.
Would you accept deep faked Jake Lloyd as Force Ghost Anakin as opposed to Hayden?
I mean, it's a little weird to want to be your 9-year-old version of yourself in heaven, but if that's what you want to be, I mean, I guess there's no rule against that, right?
I'm now with Ben. This is the dumbest thing that's ever happened on the show.
I mean, you're a manifestation of energy. Like, it doesn't matter what you look like. You could look like anything. I mean, look at Mortis. They look like they look like characters, and they're not sometimes.
Yeah. Ben.
Yes.
Do you want to take some of these quotes from SFX magazine about the Book of Boba Fett? Read them out for us.
Yeah, sure. Anything but what I just had to witness. Where are we in the notes? Okay, I think
SFX magazine.
Yeah, I got it. So this is Ming-Na Wen, who is obviously talking about coming off of 2 seasons of Mandalorian, and what the dynamic's going to be. She says, quote, in the Book of Boba Fett, there will be a lot of explorations of the dynamics between Boba and Fennec and how they will complement each other and what they get out of that relationship. He's someone she respects, and they have definitely bonded with him. She has definitely bonded with him, saving her. It allowed her to realize that she might be better off not being solo. I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna ignore that.
Keep going.
Keep being solo anymore. She sees her allegiance with Boba as a very smart move in the sense that she'll have somebody watching her back, and even though it might be an extra baggage to have you align herself with someone else, the reward for her at the moment is greater. And Boba died, or we thought he did, in the Sarlacc pit. So I think that both of them share those near-death experiences in common. They both have a vulnerability that they understand, end quote. So kind of connecting the two, I see where she's coming from there. And as Boba puts it, sometimes the fate steps in to rescue the wretched, or however he puts it eloquently.
Great line.
They both had near-death experiences on Tatooine. So makes sense that they're kind of like, hey, they're buddies now. And then they go on, and this is Tim Morrison talking about Dave Filoni. He says, yes, and that's where we kind of opened up to too much of the can at times in regards to the story. I think I did have my reservations, but hey, I trust the people I work with, so I was so lucky I had people like Dave Filoni as an ability to connect some of the dots, some of the ancient dots, and to keep the authenticity. I relied on him a lot because I'm not one of these actors that reads every comic book and every bounty hunter book. Oh, shame on you, Tim.
No, that's Daniel Logan.
But this is cool. I like that. I love Tim Morrison talking about Dave Filoni. We're here now. This is real. And just the whole idea of like Filoni being that. Being the Lucas, basically, he is the whole. He's the mesh is holding all this together. He's the guy that everyone goes to when they need stuff explained, and Filoni doing Filoni stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been cool. As people who've been following Dave Filoni for years and years and years, to see him, rise from being kind of this obscure figure that only people following the Clone Wars in the most hardcore way knew about, to now being sort of a power player in Hollywood that people want to work with and who can be mentioned just sort of offhand and everybody knows about them. So yeah, it's been cool to see the rise of Dave Filoni through all of this, in addition to everything else that's going on. So yeah, lots of interesting stuff going on with the Book of Boba Fett. There's one more shot I want to go back to in the trailer, and it relates to another story that we have for this week, and that is the shot of Boba and Fennec looking down into the Rancor pit. And you may have seen the meme floating around if you follow
That
Star
is
Wars.
a hell of a segue.
Yeah, if you follow Star Wars collecting, that the HasLab Rancor, the 6-inch Rancor, was not funded this week. It failed to reach the required number of backers. It came up. It was only like 500 short in the end. Like there was a real push towards the end to try and get it funded, but it didn't happen. And so you may have seen there's a meme going around. It's real good of Boba and Fennec looking down in the Rancor pit, going, looks like HasLab wasn't funded, or something to that effect. Great little meme. So Rancor did not get made. Any reaction to this news?
So I guess apparently I'm hearing all these rumors now that like eccentric billionaires funded all the other ones or something like that. I don't know. I guess these things are harder to fund than we may have thought.
Well, yeah. I mean, Razor Crest, I don't think I think Razor Crest, like, that beat it reached all of its stretch goals and everything. Yeah. And the other one cleared its necessary it cleared its necessary target by a decent amount. But this one came up short, and it's a shame, because I do think that would have been a cool toy. But I think that, again, Hasbro kind of bet on a couple of things to go there to break their way, and they didn't. One of which is, I think they thought they could just pick anything from the original trilogy and have it be funded, which I don't think is the case. I think there are still things left in the original trilogy that could be made into toys. But I think if you want something like this to succeed, it needs to be something that people are hyped about right now. And I think that's what the success of the Razor Crest points to, and just how much that blew things out of the water. The barge was kind of a unique situation because it was something that has never been made before in any scale. Yeah. And also it was kind of the launch. It was the first thing. So I think Hasbro sort of misread the tea leaves on that. I think they thought any piece of original trilogy merch would sell.
I mean, my initial reaction when, this was announced or leaked or whatever the heck happened, was that it's kind of surprising, because they've had many Rancors come out in the past, and I was trying to figure out how this could even be much larger than the other Rancors, because they already looked practically 6-inch scale with the size of things, and I'm still kind of confused as to the size of this thing, and if it truly is as big as it should be. Based on just how big the 3 3/4-inch scale ones are, and this one seemingly not being twice as large, which you would assume it would be. So I don't know. There's a lot of weirdness to it. I think they should go with, if they're going to go with the original trilogy, I think the Tantive 4 is the best bet. I mean, I remember being a kid in the 1990s. This was before the Phantom Menace came out.
Before the nostalgic mall packaging.
Before the nostalgia, yes, because I had 8 years of my life before that. So I remember going to a store at one point and seeing kind of like a die cast or like build your own model type Tantive 4, and like being really excited for like half a second, thinking that it was a Hasbro, and being like, oh, this is freaking awesome. You know, I can put this with my Falcon and my X-Wing and my Land Speeder and all that stuff from the good old 90s. And then I realized, oh no, wait, this is just a model. It has nothing to do with the action figures. It's not Hasbro crap. And I was so mad. And ever since that moment, I've, wanted a Tantive 4. And it's kind of a shocking thing to me that Hasbro's never made a Tantive 4. Like,
yeah,
it's such a big part of the story to not tackle that. They've made like every other large ship in the Star Wars galaxy but that one.
Yeah. I think in addition to Tantive 4, the other like original trilogy thing that they could do and have it succeed would be a new Death Star playset of some kind.
It's been
like
40 years since the last one came out.
Yeah, I feel like the original trilogy generation collectors have a lot of nostalgia for that original one.
Yeah.
And imagine what you could do with it in a HasLab situation with that amount of money, that amount of
just keep adding to it.
That level of design. Yeah, there's so much what you could do with it. So I still think obviously there's still money to be made in the original trilogy. But I think they sort of thought they could do just about anything and have it work. The other thing that had them shoot themselves in the foot was the fact that the follow-up tiers, the stretch goals, just they didn't excite people. They felt sort of like things that probably should have been included in the first place. And when you're doing something like HasLab, you don't have to worry about appealing to a mass market. You just have to worry about appealing to the collectors, the people who want this thing. So if you're going to do stretch goals, make them stuff that collectors want. Things like the rocks and the bones, that should have just come with it. The fact that they had to add Malakili, the Rancor keeper, at the last minute, come on, that should have been stretch goal number 1. Like that should have been right there.
This whole situation almost feels like the Rancor was like riding the coattails of the sail barge.
Yeah.
Like, I think you'd want to do something like completely different. Like, okay, we did Jabba's Palace. Let's go to another movie. If we're going to stay in the original trilogy, that's fine. It seemed like they were like, okay, well, let's do something part of that. And like, I get like if you're like a collector with a lot of money, you want to like the whole set. Like you'd want to have the sail barge and the Rancor and all this kind of stuff. That's cool. But
but they aren't even the same scale. Like the barge is vintage collection scale. It's 3 3/4, and the Rancor is 6 inch.
Display cases, people won't notice.
You do like a forced perspective thing. Yeah. So it was an odd. Everything from the way it was announced, which you heard on our show.
I feel bad for like the people that like spent a lot of time like designing this thing and were clearly like probably amped up to like get this thing out, and Hasbro probably spent a lot of money on this, and all the people that were like that did back it, that wanted this thing, that were probably carving out a space in their collection for this thing, that aren't going to get it now.
Yeah, well, look, it came up 500 short. That means that there were some unforced errors in there that could have if they hadn't made those errors, this would have crossed the finish line and been funded. And honestly, better stretch goals might have just been it. That might have been it. So, anyways, that's that. It's unfortunate.
Thrown in a Moochie. Come on,
a little mini Rancor,
real sand.
Yeah, something. All right. Next up. Let's take a look at. Chris, you teased off the top. There were 2 video game trailers. Let's take a look at the second one, and that is for Star Wars Hunters.
Back into the fray. Blasters up.
For the new Republic.
For the Empire.
Now we take you to one of the most high-tech sports arenas in the galaxy. Here are today's combatants. It's Slingshot!
Ready to roll! Gimme! Rush!
Jedi.
It's free! Check this out. Fire on the hull! Cover me. Immoral attack!
Let's go! Time for some fireworks!
Sentinel!
Out of my way! Reinforcements have arrived.
This ought to be good. Hold on, here they come. The name of this game is Teamwork.
This arena is alive with furious action!
It's now or never!
Let's see who wants it the most.
All right. That looks like fun. That looks like fun. I don't know. I don't have a lot to say about it. It looks like fun.
I mean, I've got to actually kind of see what the gameplay experience is like for this one, because again, I'm assuming this is is this mobile or is this Nintendo?
It is mobile and Wii, I think.
Yeah, no, both. Wait, Wii? That's a thing still? Switch.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. See, that just shows how much I know. That just shows how much I'm paying attention to these sort of
Like,
things.
wait, oh,
It's
wow,
coming
that's
on the Wii.
gotta excite the Wii community. Holy
Yeah.
crap.
It's
Get those
back.
Get those little things.
Someone
that
just shot up in their chair like, wait, there's a new Star Wars game for the Wii? What?
Yeah. No. Yeah. I got to see what the gameplay is like. I'm assuming probably on the Switch, it will be kind of a little bit more enjoyable. Because you like, I just hate playing games on my phone, like with the touch screen. Like I never got into the whole like iPad game craze back. Who knows when that started? And
Sure.
And just I've never really. There's no real mobile games that I super enjoy. That aren't games that are like very much obviously built for a phone, like, you know, you're moving a couple tiles around or like some puzzle or something. So I don't know how the mobile experience is going to be, but I think it's exciting for the Switch. I think that has some potential there.
It should be fun, and it looks cool. At the cinematic trailer that they did for that a couple of weeks back, that was great. So it could be good. Could be good. Could be fun. All right. It's time.
Oh.
I promised something.
Oh.
And here we go. So I told you guys back a couple of months ago, this was on the pre-show, that I had been going through the Notes app on my phone. And you know how you do that sometimes? You're just like, I'm just going to see what I wrote down. And I discovered something I forgot I'd written. And I wrote this on December 20, or I finished it. Let me put it that way. I finished it on December 23rd, 2019. So between the release of The Rise of Skywalker and Christmas. And that's relevant because what it is it's a Star Wars themed song parody of the 12 Days of Christmas. And it's about the Rise of Skywalker.
How is this come up now?
So, like I said, I found it a couple. I meant to like do something with it then, and the moment passed. And then I meant to do something with it last year, and I forgot. Then I found it in April, and I told everybody on the pre-show, remind me this December. And they did, and people did. And so I have it now for you, and I will share it with you. So before we begin, I'm just going to turn on my Wookiee Life Day orb that I bought at Disneyland, because that is something that they sell. Yeah, so because we're going to have some Star Wars music. I won't tell you what I paid for this because nobody should know.
I left my blue snuggie and my red snuggie at home.
Yeah. All right. Are you guys ready?
No.
I bet that is the correct answer. All right. Here we go. On the first day of Christmas, Star Wars gave to me a broadcast from the dark side. Not a great opener, but it's not a great opener for the movie either. By the way, I know people are going to think because it's me with the Rise of Skywalker, it's going to be a bunch of Rise of Skywalker hate. No. This song takes a neutral tone on the Rise of Skywalker. Doesn't say it's good, doesn't say it's bad, just says it exists. All right. Sorry. So that's that. All right. On the second day of Christmas, Star Wars gave to me 2 mind trick troopers and a broadcast from the dark side. All right, this is where we abandon the numbering system for the rest of the song because it became too hard to think of like numbered things in the movies. All right. On the third day of Christmas, Star Wars gave to me Poe Lightspeed skipping, 2 mind trick troopers and a broadcast from the dark side. On the fourth day of Christmas, Star Wars gave to me Force healing powers, Poe Lightspeed skipping, 2 mind trick troopers and a broadcast from the dark side. This needs music. This really needs music. All right, this is
I'm in my mind. There is like music and sound effects. There's like, after you say like 2 mind trick troopers, and it's like Poe going like, "Did she do that to us?" Like there's stuff going on in the background. I'm picturing it. I don't have the capabilities to make this happen, but I can hear it in my head.
You can hear it in your head. All right. So here we go. Day 5. This is what made me realize I had to write the whole song. On the 5th day of Christmas, Star Wars gave to me Rey Palpatine.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Force healing powers, Poe Lightspeed skipping, 2 mind trick troopers and a broadcast from the dark side. On the 6th day of Christmas, Star Wars gave to me Finn with a feeling, Rey Palpatine. Force healing powers, Poe Lightspeed skipping, 2 mind trick troopers and a broadcast from the dark side. On the 7th day of Christmas, Star Wars gave to me Hux helping heroes, Finn with a feeling, Rey Palpatine. Force healing powers, Poe Lightspeed skipping, 2 mind trick troopers and a broadcast from the dark side. All right. There we go. 8th day of Christmas. Now it's been said that the best parody of the 12 Days of Christmas already exists, and it's by Bob and Doug McKenzie from SCTV back in the day. And what makes it great is that they stop after 8 days. I'm sorry to report that doesn't happen here. On the 8th day of Christmas, Star Wars gave to me General Lando laughing, Hux helping heroes, Finn with a feeling, Rey Palpatine. Force healing powers, Poe Lightspeed skipping, 2 mind trick troopers and a broadcast from the dark side. On the 9th day of Christmas, Star Wars gave to me Master Leia's saber, General Lando laughing, Hux helping heroes, Finn with a feeling, Rey Palpatine. Force healing powers, Poe Lightspeed skipping, 2 mind trick troopers and a broadcast from the dark side. On the 10th day of Christmas.
This is legitimately heartwarming.
On the 10th day of Christmas, Star Wars gave to me Kylo Ren redeemed Master Leia's saber, General Lando laughing, Hux helping heroes, Finn with a feeling, Rey Palpatine. Force healing powers, Poe Lightspeed skipping, 2 mind trick troopers and a broadcast from the dark side. Now, I'm sure some people are listening to this and they just heard that line, Kylo Ren redeemed, and they're thinking, excuse me, wasn't Kylo Ren who was redeemed? It was Ben Solo who was redeemed. To which I say, yes, you're right, obviously. But that didn't work as well in the song. Like, it's Lords a-leaping, so you need Ren redeemed. You need the RR sound, like the LL sound.
Professional songwriter here, all right? You know how to rhyme, okay?
Yeah, so yes, technically it should be Ben Solo redeemed, but Kylo Ren redeemed just worked better with 10 Lords a-leaping than Ben Solo would. All right. We're almost to the finish line. On the 11th day of Christmas, Star Wars gave to me I am all the Jedi, Kylo Ren redeemed, Master Leia's saber, General Lando laughing, Hux helping heroes, Finn with a feeling, Rey Palpatine. Force healing powers, Poe Lightspeed skipping, 2 mind trick troopers and a broadcast from the dark side. All right. Day 12, we're almost there. And for the final day, the numbering system makes a surprise return. Oh, who saw that coming? On the 12th day of Christmas, Star Wars gave to me 12 months of debating. I am all the Jedi. Kylo Ren redeemed. Master Leia saber. General Lando laughing. Hux helping heroes. Finn with the feeling. Rey Palpatine. Force healing powers. Poe lightspeed skipping. 2 mind trick troopers. Sing it with me now. And a broadcast. You guys aren't singing. From the dark side. There you go. I'm so sorry.
I've been like fiddling with this like LED bracelet the whole podcast. You gave me something to do with it. I'm so stoked.
Yeah, so there it is. That was a week of work 2 years ago.
That's right.
I'm
when
disappointed
the
that I'm
out.
just now hearing it.
Yeah, well, it could have been, coulda, shoulda, woulda been if I had remembered to bring it up on the show previously. So there you go. I won't ever be singing that again. But I will tell you though, that in looking back at this and it's got the old brain going, and we might be going backwards through the sequel trilogy. Because Last Jedi Christmas is just a little too easy. It's just a little, it's all right there. So I don't know. Maybe next year. Next year.
You got your green milk for Santa Luke.
Yep, exactly. So anyways, I think that's all the news. Ben, aren't you glad you stuck around for this?
Yeah, I would have been so disappointed to watch this in the future. My God.
Yeah, I think that's all the news, unless you guys really want to do Bring Home the Bounty.
Let's do Bring Home the Bounty.
Let's close it out. All right, we'll close it out with some Bring Home the Bounty.
I might disappear.
Action.
Who knows? Well, I've been here this long, so we'll know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. We'll bring up Bring Home the Bounty. Why not? All right. So what do we got this week? What have we got? Sunglasses.
Oh, I need some of those. That's perfect timing.
Boba Fett sunglasses by Diff. Okay. Yeah, it's just sunglasses. They're like aviators that, they've got sort of around the lenses. They've got some Boba Fett-ish looking coloring. That's cool, I guess. We got some Funko Pops. We got Mando and Grogu. That's all right. That's all right. And we got just Grogu by himself. If you're sick of Mando and you just want Grogu, there you go.
I just love that we're finally getting Funko Pops with the word Grogu on them.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's not the child anymore. He's all grown up. What else we got? Boba Fett Black Series. Fennec Shad Black Series. All right. Yeah. Those are, sure, we'll see those on shelves in time for the show, right? No.
Maybe for season 2.
Maybe.
This time it wouldn't be like revealing anything they're not supposed to reveal, because we had the trailer a year before the show.
Yeah, they look exactly how they look in The Mandalorian. These could be Mandalorian figures. They don't have to be Book of Boba Fett figures. What else we got? All right, we got a Yoda statue. It's a Lucasfilm 50th anniversary Yoda fountain statue by Kota Bukiya. Okay.
I like that.
Yeah, I kind of want this.
Yeah.
Great. How much is freaking great?
How much is this? $270, and it's limited to 1,138.
Okay,
that's
what can I sell to get that?
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. How big is it though? What's the scale?
Oh, it's like
life size.
Big. The same size as the noble one.
It does not say how big this thing. Oh no, here it is. Height 8.66 inches or 22 centimeters. 66 order 66 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm. It all adds up. Adds up.
Illuminati.
Yeah. We got a Boba Fett plush by Mattel. That's pretty cute.
Nice.
Pretty cute. And that's it. Let's bring home the bounty.
Get your Disney Plus bundle.
Yeah. There you go. There it is. There's your stuff. All right. There we go. That is all of the news. Shockingly, we covered it all. I think this is what happens. We always have short shows when news breaks like right before the show, because we don't have time to like prepare for it. I watched the trailer for Eclipse for the first time during the show. I did not have time to properly prepare for it. So,
I
maybe
feel like we just need to bring that back next week. So I'm gonna have 1,000 more thoughts because I'm gonna watch it 50 more times tonight.
Same. I think maybe next week we should work in some more Eclipse talk just to give it
And I'm
its
sure
due.
we'll have some more information by then.
Yeah,
too,
there's got to be something that comes out explaining what the heck just happened.
I'm not holding my breath. Not holding my breath.
Well, who made it? Let's call them up. Let's ask some questions.
Some questions for him. But yeah, so with that, I think that threw everybody. So we were sort of left to kind of scramble, and I'm sure we could have talked more about it. Whether or not it would have been coherent, whether or not what we said was coherent, is up for debate. So there you have it. But we'll revisit it next week once we've got a chance to live with it a little bit more, and we can actually talk about it some more. And maybe we could bring on some more people to talk about it who know a thing or two about video games and that sort of thing. Yeah. But I think with that we can begin to wrap things up for this week.
All right, that'll do it for this episode of the Star Wars Underworld podcast. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. We'll be back with another episode, same time, same place next week, and that is every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. And if you subscribe to our Patreon over at patreon.com/theswu, you can catch the pre-shows that we do about a half hour before the main show. You can get that live and on demand. So make sure you subscribe over there. Dominic, thank you so much for hosting tonight.
It was my pleasure as always. I deeply apologize to everybody for singing my song at the end of the show. That was torture that nobody deserves.
In my opinion, you have nothing to apologize for.
Okay, well, thank you, Ben. But yeah, I'm looking forward to everything that we got coming up. We kind of covered a lot of things in the future of Star Wars with the Acolyte, Eclipse, and of course the immediate future, Book of Boba. And so I'm really looking forward to Book of Boba in 3 weeks, and I'm especially looking forward to Alden Ehrenreich's cameo in about 6 weeks. So we can all look forward to that in due course. But it's been a great show. I can't wait to do all this again in 7 days. Time.
And of course, you can follow Dominic on social media at DominicJ25, where you can harass him for more song ideas for next year. And Ben, thank you so much for being on the entire show.
Yeah, it's funny how that worked out. I totally expect not to be here the entire show, and then it just happened. So, I am especially looking forward to the return of Force Ghost Anakin, but not Hayden Christensen, but actually Jake Lloyd. Look, I would actually be totally fine. Like
Lanny,
Jake Lloyd, he went through a lot. Let's bring him back to Star Wars.
Yeah.
And let him be a Force Ghost. Why not? That would be amazing. I don't know. I'm not sure if I should dread or be excited for the next few weeks, but we'll see. But I know I was excited for tonight because that was they had some unexpected surprises for us. And I was looking forward to Book of Boba Fett. We got some casting news, and then they dropped that trailer on us, and I'm gonna have to go watch it again because I still don't know what the hell I just watched. But tonight was fun. Thanks, guys, for putting up with my crap. And it's been a minute, but I hope to see you guys next week.
I'll put up with crap any day as long as there's barbecue sauce. Anyway.
I have a feeling Ben's either going to fire both of us from the show this week or quit next week. I'm not sure.
I
think he's had enough of our
who's
nonsense.
putting up with whose crap?
at Ben Hart with no E is where you can follow him on social media. At Seek3PO is where you can follow me on social media. Part of the Culture Slate Network. Make sure you check out all the shows we have over there. Star Wars Culture. Special thanks once again to Hannah and Jordan for crashing the beginning of the show, giving their reactions as well to the trailer. So check that out, and also check out the Rollout and Chatter Squadron as well on the network. As always, swunderworld@gmail.com is where you can email into the show. We can't wait to get back to your emails very, very soon. Ben's leaving for creative differences, but really it's just focus on his other projects. Nice comment from Jesse there. Definitely tune into the show live.
It's true, actually. It's
to
true.
leave your comments. They're awesome. You can find us on YouTube every week. And if you're listening on a podcast app, make sure you leave a review. So that's it. We'll be back with another episode next week. And till then, for Ben and Dominic and all the other great friends we have here at the Star Wars Underworld, my name is Chris, and may the Force be with you.
It's a wrap. Trying to figure out how to turn this orb off. There it is. Now that you can see it, there's the title cards up. All right.
Oh, there's the thank you for joining us thing.
Yeah.
I found it now.
Bye, everybody.